Hello and welcome to this week's video. A little shorter than last week's video. I have on the lathe a blank that's almost finished from a demonstration that I did earlier in the week. You'll notice up here, let's give you a different shot, the evidence of worm. Yep, it's been eaten by some woodworm, and it's left this lovely indentations and dents and texture that I need to do some work on. So this week's video is just going to be putting some texture, ebonising lacquer, iridescent paints. Right, let's get geared up. Now notice here, if I come in a bit closer, where the worm has gone, I've got lines coming across. So I could cut deeper and eradicate those, but it might be interesting to try replicating that. Well, we'll see how that works out when I finish putting the texture, because again, bits haven't been cut, so I want to remove a flat surface from there. I guess what we've got here is a very deconstructed basket weave. And by deconstructed, I mean really messy. Right, bit of finishing needed on there, just to smooth it up a little bit. So I'm going to put this away, unplug it, and place it out of harm's way. And our old friend, the rotary nylon impregnated bristly rasp. That's the sound of a dying battery. That's better. That's better. Okay, now for this edge, which is very sharp, I need to do a bit of sandpaper on that. I'm going to do that by hand, just to soften that edge. Right, spray time. So spray time means different mask, of course. My vapor mask. And I'm going to put some sanding sealer on first. It's a fascinating video, isn't it, watching someone put their safety gear on. Do you know, I'm almost tempted to just leave it with the black on. A second coat going on now. Right, that's good. That's covered everywhere now. So, oh, almost everywhere. Always worth having a quick look round and a check, especially where some of the deeper texture is. And I'm looking here at the moment, but I also need to look over on this side to see the opposite side of those deeper cuts. I think probably the edge could do with just a little more. Don't forget, because the edge is moving the fastest, that you need to hold the spray there a bit longer to get the same coverage as you're going to get closer into the centre. Yeah, that does look really quite interesting, just black. Well, the lacquer has had about 5 days to dry, it feels like. So clearly it's time to get some colour put over the top. And I am going to use Jo Sonja Iridescent paints. Humming and hawing, I'm probably going to go with red, but I'm going to mix it with a little bit of flow medium so it's a bit thinner. Might be subtler. It's either red or violet, turquoise and gold, which is a colour combination I've seen a lot of people do. Particularly Mick Hanbury. Check him out on YouTube. I'm going to go with the red, and I might just leave it at red and black. Now, not very much should be needed. Let's give a wider shot so you can see me in all glorious preparation. Do you know, I'm not even sure if this has ever been used before. Oh, yeah, it has. So, if I put it on this camera, you might get an idea, a little shimmer of colour there. A little sort of pinkish tinge. But it really doesn't show its colour until it's dried. Flow medium, similar amount. And I'm using flow medium, not water, because flow medium won't dilute the colour. And a little paintbrush just to mix it up. So mixing that in. I probably haven't mixed enough up. But if I put it on this other camera, maybe you can see in the bottom now there's a definite pinkish tinge where it's beginning to dry on the bottom. Right, so in terms of applying this, I don't really want a huge amount on my brush at any one time, so I'm cleaning it off on the lip. But if you put it on too thin, then you don't end up with any effect. And I don't want it everywhere either. And if it all goes hideously wrong, then I just come back with my ebonising lacquer and correct that. So hopefully you can see, at the moment it probably just looks a bit lighter in places. And where it's thicker, in thicker clumps, there it looks white, and that probably will stay. So you need to thin the paint out on the surface. Now I know that Stuart and subtle don't always go together. Could be a first. So I've actually mixed up far more than I actually needed. And you get the colour from it, the light being interfered as it hits the paint. It's got little tiny mica grain or inside the liquid, and that's what's causing the colour, where it's bouncing off those platelets and getting the wave coming back. I think comes back twice. You might have to do some Googling to see that I might be talking complete nonsense, but you're used to that. You love a bit of Stuart nonsense. Oh, what I'm looking for is obvious areas where there isn't really anything going on, and just working some paint into there. So I have actually ended up using, well, I've used most of it at the bottom, but I've got this lovely bit here that hasn't been used. See the colour coming out of it possibly, but like I say, it is a subtle effect and it works better over darker colours. So I now have a decision to, do I leave it with this subtle ready glow, or do I put a bit of gold on? Gold often really lifts things. Seems to be a bit barer. Well, actually, as I turn it around, it does shimmer, changes look depending on the angle that you're looking at it, or the angle I'm looking at it. Right, that's it for now. I'm going to leave that to dry and give myself time to think about a third colour. Okay, the red has dried, giving a very nice shiny, sheeny colour effect, and I'm now going with the gold. But I'm going to use a softer brush for this and just try to get it to catch a little bit. So very small amount of paint going in. Again, I'm going to thin it down about 50-50 and mix that up. So the type of brush I'm going to use this time is a much fuller but also softer brush. So I'm going to wipe most of it off on the rim, and then lightly flicking across the surface. Trying to get even coverage. So possibly this time I did mix up a bit too much, looking at the fact that I'm almost all the way round now. One or two places where it's a little less even, So going back, I don't want to overwork it. Poor brush is getting a few bristles coming out. Great fun trying to get them out from that texture. There we go. Again, a case of turning it around, looking at it all the way around, because it will change the look of it depending on where the light's hitting it or how it's hitting it. Very, very lightly hitting the surface. There's a bit here, maybe you can see it, it's quite strong there compared to some of the other parts. So I just need to balance that out really around the rest of it. And I think that's it. Now, it would perhaps look quite different if I'd used more colours. I was tempted with a sort of mother of pearl abalone kind of look, and maybe that will come in another video. But for today, I'm going to leave it at that. It's interesting. Some parts, there's a part here where I'm looking at it now, as you can see from this angle, looking down at it, oh, it looks a bit white. But as I turn it round, it goes gold. So these paints really work, or the effect of them changes depending where you're standing. And with that long shot, I think you can see there, so it sort of looks gold there for all of the platter, all of the rim. Oh, got another bristle there. Might need to look after my brushes a bit better. So hold the cloth against, work to the edge. Start seeing a shine appear. Fold the cloth back on itself, get a cleaner bit, work, get to the edge, and bring the speed up once the first couple of coats have been removed. There we go, much faster speed now. Feeling the warmth coming through the pad of safety cloth. Still coming off a little bit grubby. More speed. Keeping out of the firing line in case anything did go wrong. Pretty clean, but let's do one more. Very nice, shiny, soft, smooth. Now, and there we have it. Now the only thing that hasn't been done because of time is to put some lacquer over the rim, and also gives me a chance to decide if they are actually the final colours that I want. But the back is completely finished. Nice piece of spalted beech. I possibly would have left it untextured and uncoloured had it not been for the fact of the worm critters having gnawed away at some parts of it. Let's put it on the overhead camera. Often that gives you a better view of what's going on. So you can see the colour, the shimmer that's been added, the bits of gold and red, although they're looking not as, I suppose, a sort of more purple kind of colour. Let's try it on the headstock camera there. You can see the definition of the texture a bit more clearly. Lovely shine, and that hasn't had any other wax put on it yet. And there's the back with lovely sporting features, which didn't really translate very well onto the top surface anyway. You can see here on the inside hardly any evidence of sporting. Tiny little bit appearing there. Well, I hope that this week's video has been enjoyable. Still pictures, I'll go outside and take some. They may even be appearing as I speak. I don't know what's going on. I think probably you can see the metallic-y, shimmery shine. Probably the best from this camera. I should have left it on this one. Right, that's it for now. You'll notice I haven't made it very deep. Just in case. Right, until next time. Thanks for watching.